Hello everyone and welcome back to Beskar Bricks. Today I'm going to be reviewing the LEGO Star Wars Advent Calendar from 2019 and this is set 75245. So this was the first Advent Calendar that I've ever had. So I thought, it's Christmas time, why not? Why not review this? This might be a little bit of a longer one, so just to save time, we're not really going to spend too much time out here. Just a quick look at the back of the box here, and we're going to start off with the mini builds. Alright, so here are all the mini builds. Now, for mini builds, I am only going to be including here micro scale builds. There are some other builds in the set that are scale to minifigures, so we'll save those when we take a look at the minifigures. Now, once again, just to kind of save runtime, we're not going to take a huge in-depth look at all of them, but I'm just going to quickly go over some which I think are worth mentioning. The first one is this, which, honestly, I'm bringing this up because I have no idea what this is supposed to be. I was confused when first opened this, and I am still confused now. It does come with a nice white blaster piece of the medium scale blaster and a roller skate piece. So there's some nice pieces in here like the black lightsaber hilt. But I have no idea what this is. I believe it came after the Stormtrooper. I don't know if this is just a rifle for him, which he already comes with a blaster. But I would assume this is some sort of cannon of some sort. I don't know what that is. That might be supposed to be minifigure scale, but I'm not sure. I just included it in here. Another one that I actually really like is this X-Wing. I know LEGO's kind of rehashed this design for the other two. They might have also used a very similar design previously, but they did change up the color schemes. So this is Poe Dameron's X-Wing from The Force Awakens. I love the orange and the black and all the other darker grays and such. That stud is supposed to represent BB-8. Considering the size, there's some pretty cool techniques here. A lot of, pieces being angled. You can see here's some nice building techniques there, like that use of that kind of headlight piece right there. And these can be, angled. It doesn't look great when they're like that. I think it's definitely supposed to be out in its attack formation. I'm very happy with this. If I had to give one complaint, there is no easy way to connect this if you want to have it flying and on display or on a mock, which is kind of a shame. It's very easy to connect some laser bolts out of here and make it look like it's flying. So I think that's kind of a miss there, but I'm very, very pleased with that. Also, this is not a vehicle, but it is a Death Star cannon. This is definitely one of my favorites here. There's some cool, very simple, but I think very effective building techniques in here. This can't, one kind of complaint, if these are not aligned perfectly, you might be able to see some of the green in there. So I do wish LEGO didn't use green studs inside there, but there's some very nice greebling here, some nice pieces like these of that kind of rounded 1x1 tile, and the cannon once again can be rotated. It is actually easier to rotate it like this. I do believe that they rotate it from the top, which is a little bit more difficult. Yeah, this is honestly, I think, a nice little display thing. I don't know if it's exactly to scale with, let's say, an X-Wing, but I'm fairly pleased with it. Now, next one here would be this, and this is it's a Corporate Alliance tank droid. This is one of our more Clone Wars style things. What is interesting about this to me is that I don't really recall, I don't think we've ever gotten one in this specific color with all this dark tan. I think the only ones we've gotten are for Kashyyyk and for the Clone Wars TV show, and I don't know specifically when this would be, what timeline this would be, or if I'm just being dumb and they're always in this color, but I don't believe they are. I think this is actually a pretty cool, compact little build. I like the 2x2 dish pieces. I think the headlights work great there. A little bit plain right there, but at least there's a little bit of change in gray color. Overall, I'm actually very happy with this build. It's definitely a highlight for me. So we only have two left that I'd like to highlight. The next one would be this mini Hoth Echo base, which I think is just kind of cute. I don't know if this is supposed to be like the big door that opens right there or just another part in the base. But we have one of the cannons right here, along with, I don't know the exact terms for these Hoth cannons, but here's another one which uses this nice, hinge piece there. So you could do that, but I don't think you'd want to. It's simple, but I think it's a charming little build, and I quite enjoy it. The last one, of course, would be... Oh, no, whoops. Alright, well, Hoth fell. My apologies, but, you know. Here is the cloud car, I almost said clown car there. Honestly, this is probably my favorite mini build here. I think not only does it look a lot like the actual, in-universe vehicle, but there's a nice bracket piece on the end here, which I think looks nice. This just looks nice from every angle. I like, we have a little bit of hints of dark red there, a little bit of orange, some nice curves and angles here. I think this is just done overall very well. And if you're in here for pieces, that 2x2 right there, transparent piece, could also prove to be useful in build. So overall, I'm very happy with this. Now, yeah, here are the builds aside from the one that fell. Overall, I think this is a very solid selection of builds instead of micro scale. There's a lot of variety. Oh, excuse me, but you know, there's some Force Awakens, some Last Jedi. There's some stuff from various, from various times across the Star Wars universe and movies and etc. Would it like there to be a little bit more than just an MTT and a tank droid for the Clone Wars side of things? But I'm happy with what we have here. Now we're gonna take a look at all the minifigure scale things, which we're gonna look a little bit more in depth at. Alright, so let's get on to I think arguably the most exciting part of advent calendars, the minifigures. So our first minifigure is going to be a First Order Stormtrooper. This is in the style of The Last Jedi. It has the Last Jedi helmet print, which is a little bit different than the Force Awakens one. So, this is the first minifigure you get, and honestly, it's a very simple, very massable minifigure. I think it's a great first minifigure to get in an advent calendar. It's a massable minifigure. It's one that, you can't have enough of these guys. He's not necessarily too special, but he's just a great minifigure to get, and I don't have too much complaints. It's just a good figure. Next is, this guy also comes with a build, so we'll get that on screen. This is Chewbacca. He comes with a campfire and presumably a porg. So, a little bit of a recreation from that, I guess, semi-famous scene of him eating porgs. I think it was in front of porgs, too. So you get this nice chicken piece, which is a great piece to have. The Chewbacca minifigure is of the newer variation, and this is, I believe, a very nice rendition of Chewbacca. It's a great name character that everyone knows to get in an advent calendar. The printing here is done very nicely, and I think this is just a great, it's a fun scene to have in an advent calendar. You get a little bit extra here, and I think this is just a fantastic, very recognizable, something everyone can like. Now, next we have an exclusive minifigure, but it's not a Christmas minifigure. This is an alternate version of Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi. Now, might have been doing some fishing. He has a nice fish piece and a staff there, which you get a nice dark brown lightsaber hilt, which I like. Overall, he has a very nice printing. Might be a little bit harder to see here with all those darker browns on there, but this is just a very well done minifigure in my opinion. Yes, he's not festive, but I'm glad LEGO actually, had put some effort into this instead of just rehashing minifigures that they already had. So this is definitely one that I feel like is done very well, and I didn't get that original set that had the older Luke in it. So I'm very happy to at least have one, and I think that one might even be a little bit more special. Alright, next we have a Death Star cannon operator. I actually have a couple of these guys. I really like these minifigures personally. Not only do they come with a pretty cool head mold there, but these helmets. I think these helmets are done very, very well. You have a little bit of printing on the side there, which I like. A nice insignia. This is the newer version that doesn't have the silver there. But, this is a very simple figure in terms of the printing. Good printing, but pretty simple. But especially once you put that helmet on him, I think it really transforms the minifigure with a bit of a pistol there. I'm very happy with that minifigure. Alright, next we have, I guess, a build, but a minifigure scale build. I believe this is a First Order mouse droid. It's a thing. I like the headlight brick, some of those brick pieces there. there's really nothing to say here. I guess if you're making a first order mock and you just need to fill some space, just kind of put this guy there. Yeah. There's nothing really to say about that. Alright, my apologies for that jump cut. Next, we have a rather simple minifigure, a lot like our very first one, the First Order Stormtrooper. This is the standard B1 battle droid. This is our only Clone Wars minifigure. I guess it's good we're getting the representation. This one was, guys, you cannot have enough as. It's not as exciting as, let's say, you know, this guy. As there's really no printing, it's just molds. It's a good minifigure. I think LEGO does excellent battle droids. So I'm happy to have this guy, but he definitely, you know, I feel like LEGO should give us, you know, interesting battle droids. Even just, you know, giving this guy a dark red torso and saying he's a security battle droid is a lot more exciting. You know, a commander one, a pilot battle droid. There's all sorts of types that they could give us, you know, a super battle droid. You know, I don't really, you know, for what's here, I don't have complaints, but what could be there, I feel like, you know, it could be better. Alright, so next we have our Rebel Fleet Trooper. Now, for me, this is one of the more exciting minifigures in this. I think this guy's only come out in 3 sets since his initial release, this being one of them. And not a lot of, like, super massable sets. There's the Junior's TIE Fighter, which is definitely the most massable one, but, you know, I'm always happy to get another one of these guys. So this is my only updated one. I have a couple of the older ones. But this is a very well done minifigure. This is one of those, I feel like, very massable, but a little bit more special ones. It's one that you want a lot of, but is a little bit less accessible. So I think this is honestly a really great, you know, a really great inclusion. I'm very happy that LEGO did that. Alright, so the next one, not really too much to say here besides, like, those kind of cool wing pieces. I think we got another one of these guys in the UCS Millennium Falcon that was out. There's not really much to say here besides he's might be, yeah, you if you want to display this, you're gonna need something to put it on. I think I just used a 2x2 jumper. Yeah, cool. I'm glad LEGO kind of gave us that. You know, another variation that came out once gonna use this Millennium, excuse me. Yeah, just something kind of cool to have. Alright, so the next one is probably my favorite minifigure. This is the Cloud Car Pilot. Now, if I'm correct, I didn't do any research. This is just based off of memory and the knowledge I already have. I do believe that this guy only came out in Betrayal in Cloud City. If I'm correct, then I think this is a fantastic inclusion. This is a massable minifigure. And, you know, a minifigure only came in a super expensive set, which I think makes this guy, you know, a great inclusion to this set. That's what I like. The more obscure minifigures that you're just, you know, you don't feel like you've ever wanted to have it, but once you have it, you're glad you own it. Now, this guy has, you know, alternate faces there. You know, a very nice helmet mold, some nice printing. I don't believe that's dual molded. That's done very nicely. You know, nice silver pistol. Can always have more of those. No leg printing, but I feel like this is still a very, very good minifigure and a very, very nice inclusion. All right, now we come to the only Christmas, or I guess in-universe, these would be Life Day things. First, we have a Christmas present Gonk droid build. You know, I think this is a very charming build, honestly. This is one of the 2 Christmas things, which in that sense, we could have maybe gotten a nicer Christmas minifigure, but Gonk droids, you know, you can't go wrong with the Gonk droid. This one's colorful, it's unique, I think it's pretty creative. I like this, so I think LEGO did a good job. Alright, so the main Christmas thing in this set is going to be the Christmas Porg. Here, I can see it has a little present. I would have liked maybe a little bit more detail in the present, but you know, it's nice how it is. So, you know what? Considering this is I guess the main Christmas thing, it's a little disappointing. You know, considering all the cool exclusive Christmas minifigures we've gotten, I get what LEGO is going for, trying to like get on the Porg hype train. You know, a Santa Porg, but I definitely feel like that this was a miss. The best part for me is this Santa hat. You know, that was the first one I've had. I think I've had one more since then, but You know, honestly, a little bit disappointing. For what it is, it's kind of cool, but it's not even as cool as this, I feel like. So, in terms of the minifigures, I feel like Lego did a pretty decent job here. We actually have a nice variation. There's some good minifigures. Overall, I feel like this is just a solid minifigure selection. It's definitely not as good as some of the ones we got in the past, but for what it is, I feel like Lego has done a good job here. Alright, so overall, looking at everything here, I'd say this is a pretty standard, decent run-of-the-mill advent calendar. Yes, there's some disappointments, but I feel like there's also a pretty standard amount of good things in all that's here. There's, I think in the festive range, this doesn't do nearly as well with, all we get is a Porg and a pretty decent Gonk droid, but it could definitely be better. The minifigure selection, there's some standard things here, but there's also some good things here. I think overall, there's not too many things in terms of the minifigures that I think are super disappointing, which is good. The builds are pretty decent, pretty good, honest. I'm don't have too many complaints, though. This thing is, that's really the one kind of really throwaway thing for me. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. You don't have this advent calendar and you're willing to spend the money on it. I'd say probably go for it. It depends what you have already in your collection. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty pleased with this, especially considering it was my first advent calendar. Thought it was a good way to get exposure to this kind of Lego Star Wars sub-theme. So yeah, with that, everyone, that is going to do it for today's video. If you ended up enjoying this video, feel free to share support with a like and subscription if you have been enjoying my content. And I do hope to see you in my next video.